Another thing, I just before we leave, I think you should do this. For my safety and security and for the good of our nation, you should do it anyway, regardless, even if it costs 10 times more, but it actually costs you just a tiny fraction. If you went to paper ballots and you're voting, and I would hope that every Republican would, so it costs exactly 8% of what the machines cost. These machines, they got something going. They get business. It's amazing. So paper ballots, and paper is very sophisticated today. Paper, it's called watermark. It's impossible to copy, impossible to cheat. It's actually hard to believe that a piece of paper is highly sophisticated, but it's watermark, and it's it's amazing actually when you see it. You can't cheat. But if you went to paper ballots and same-day voting, and if you went to voter ID, and also one other thing, you want a proof of citizenship. Those four things: proof of citizenship, voter ID, paper ballots, one-day voting.
Look at this photo. The Oval Office, once the sanctum of democracy, now looks like the lobby of hell with better lighting. A man has collapsed on the carpet and Donald Trump is just standing there, irritated, like someone interrupted his show by having the nerve to faint without permission. The aides are scrambling, the cameras are flashing, and he's just bored, annoyed that human suffering dared to upstage him. This is who he is. He doesn't give a fuck about you. He was court-ordered to feed starving children, 42 million Americans, 16 million of them kids. He said no. Then he made sure grocery stores couldn't give discounts to people using food assistance. He'd rather punish the hungry than admit defeat. This is who he is. He doesn't give a fuck about you. He ordered pallets of food, real food, edible food, relief shipments stamped with the U.S. flag burned instead of delivered, turned bread into ash just to prove that mercy offends him. This is who he is. He doesn't give a fuck about you. He threw a great Gatsby party at his private golf club while children's plates sat empty. Top shelf champagne, billionaires laughing under apple. It wasn't a celebration, it was an autopsy with appetizers, because that's who he is. A man who mistakes other people's hunger for proof that he's full. He's the kind of person who would be hosting a gala on the Titanic's lifeboats while women and children clawed to climb aboard. He would sell the seats or refuse them altogether. This is who he is. He doesn't give a fuck about you. He mocked prisoners of war. He called soldiers suckers and losers. He told a grieving widow her husband knew what he had signed up for. He bragged about grabbing women by the pussy. He called immigrants poison. He said he'd be a dictator on day one. And guess what? He sure as shit is acting like it, because this is who he is. He doesn't give a fuck about you. He doesn't care if you voted for him or not. He doesn't care if you cheered for him, worshipped him, wore his hat, or ruined your family over him. He doesn't give a shit about any of you. All he wants is your suffering, because your pain makes him feel powerful. This is who he is. He doesn't give a fuck about you. He watched Americans die during the pandemic and shrugged. It is what it is. Every death was an inconvenience. Every funeral, a distraction from his own reflection, because this is who he is. He doesn't give a fuck about you. And now we all live inside his cruelty. We scroll past the videos, masked agents dragging teachers out of classrooms, mothers begging for formula, families choosing between groceries and rent, and he doesn't blink. He burns food instead of feeding people. He cuts benefits, spikes tariffs, and laughs while the rest of us pay the bill. This is who he is. He doesn't give a fuck about you. That photo doesn't show America collapsing behind him. It shows Donald Trump's view of America beneath him, suffering at his feet, something to be ignored until it stops moving. To him, that's the natural order, the powerful standing, everyone else crawling. The man on the floor isn't the exception, he's the rule. This is who Donald Trump is, and he doesn't give a fuck about you. He doesn't give a fuck about any of you.
People can sleep again because they can breathe as when they go to bed.
Donald Trump was literally sleeping while Dr. Oz was talking about sleeping and dementia. Watch Sleepy Don again.
Hello, my name is Manny. I just wanted to tell you guys and say that I really hope you guys do side with us and you guys really do hear what we're saying for you guys, because all of us here are actually trying to fight for what's right and fight for our rights. And I just want to tell you guys that I'm scared for my parents to walk out there. To walk out their house because I might not be able to say goodbye to them if they go to work. I might not ever be able to say bye or see them again if you guys don't side with us. And I'm scared because of it, because they fought so hard to come here and choose a life for their kids. And I really hope you guys do hear what everyone in this room has been saying, and I hope you guys do side with us, because we are fighting for our rights. And we are getting treated like animals because people judge us by the color of our skin and the way that we talk. And we have a president that acts like a child and doesn't side with us because of the way he thinks about us. And we have a police department that doesn't do anything about us, and that we are here fighting more than they are. So I hope that you guys actually do hear what everyone in this center is hearing or talking about, so you guys can side with us and listen to what everyone's saying, because everyone is scared. I'm scared that I'm never going to be able to see all my friends again. I'm scared that their parents are going to be gone one day. I'm scared that all of us are going to have to fend for ourselves. I'm scared that one day at school that I'm going to get held by people that I don't know, people that are covered, people that I can't identify because they wear masks and they don't properly ID themselves. I'm scared that everyone that I love I'm not going to be able to see them again, because even though that they're U.S. citizens, they don't care about us. They treat us like dogs. They treat us like animals. No one here cares about us because of the color of our skin. So I'm asking you guys, every single one of you guys that are sitting up here, to actually hear us and do something about it, because I'm tired of it. I'm tired of telling my mom and dad every day after school that, have you seen the new video of ICE pulling someone over because of the color of their skin? I'm tired of everything. And I hope you guys really do something about it, because I really do want something to change, because I should not live like this as a 16-year-old. I shouldn't be scared. I should be focusing on school, and I can't even focus on school.
Yeah, so Trump is not building a ballroom. And I feel like I've known this in my soul, but now I feel like I have irrefutable proof, thanks to Andrew Kerr, an architect who posted on Facebook a few days ago and blew this case wide open. And he, by the way, has over 20 years of experience working on federal projects, and he walked through in his Facebook post step by step why this does not make any sense, this ballroom. I mean, for one, he just kind of did the math. $300 million at 90,000 square feet would be about $3,333 per square foot. He said that even luxury federal construction doesn't usually approach $1,000 per square foot. He also mentioned the geometry of these renderings being nearly impossible, because the renderings are showing a building that would need a 380 by 235 foot footprint, but the interior views show maybe 200 by 100 feet. And that's only 20,000 square feet, so that can't exist in the same building. Not to mention that the construction drawings, he said, look like they were thrown together in about a week, and I think that that's pretty generous, considering I think that they were probably thrown together by Grok within, I don't know, a couple of minutes. Probably by Big Balls or whoever's still wandering around the White House from Doge. So the million-dollar question then becomes, well, then what is he building? And the answer, I think, is that he's building an underground data center. Hear me out. Think about where they're building, because it's not random. It's the East Wing, and that's where the PEOC bunker is. And just think about the significance of that, because that is where the tunnel systems are that connect the White House to the Treasury to the other federal buildings. It's where all of the secure communications infrastructure lives. I mean, that's prime real estate, just underground. Honestly, this kind of reminds me of the Oracle data centers that Larry Ellison built underground in Jerusalem. You know, the ones that were 9 stories deep, 160 feet below the ground, 460,000 square feet. And guess how much those cost? $319 million per bunker. Yeah, and the White House is already at $300 million for this ballroom, and it's only climbing. Fiscally, it feels like a more apt comparison, I feel like. Even outside of the architecture anomalies, the fact that this is privately funded should have been our first red flag. I mean, this is Donald Trump we're talking about, baby. I mean, the man who has absolutely no problem spending taxpayer money on stuff that just benefits him. This is the same guy who spent over $3.9 billion in taxpayer money just to make over Air Force One. Didn't he also make Secret Service pay to stay at Mar-a-Lago? Like he charged the room bill to them? Just ridiculous. So when he suddenly won't spend government government money on this means this isn't actually serving him. This means that this is serving someone else specifically. Look at the donor list. You've got defense contractors like Lockheed Martin and Booz Allen Hamilton, and you've got tech giants like Amazon, Apple, Google, Meta, Microsoft, Palantir. You've got crypto companies like Coinbase, Ripple, and Tether, and then telecoms like T-Mobile and Comcast. These aren't people who are funding a party space. These are companies who have very specific interests in government infrastructure, government data, and government operations. Don't get it twisted. They are funding infrastructure that very directly serves them. Also, think about Larry Ellison's vision, the one that he spoke about in the keynote the other day that I made a video on, the part where he said that he wants to automate the government. I mean, a lot of these tech bros have been talking about automating the government. And if you want to automate federal operations or create a single digital platform for the government, then that means you need a supremely secure physical home for that system. And by placing it directly under the White House, you eliminate latency problems and you ensure that the President of the United States has direct physical control over the system's core. Because remember, it's about centralizing control and securing the brain of the government. I know it sounds very dystopian, and in many ways it's because it is. But these are very real things that are happening around the world. And the companies that are funding this, well, they're buying access. They want their systems integrated to how the government operates. And that's what $300 million will get you, I guess.
And I will tell you right now, as God is my witness, if we lose the midterms and we lose 2028, some in this room are going to prison, myself included.
Mississippi, yes, Mississippi, Democrats flipped 3 state legislative seats, breaking Republican supermajority in the state. In Georgia, Democrats flipped 2 statewide seats on Georgia's influential Public Service Commission. Basically, everywhere you look across the country, Democrats won last night. Even in hyper local races, Democrats flipped Republican-controlled seats at the city and county level in Pennsylvania and Connecticut and New York. Democrats even had the added satisfaction of beating J.D. Vance's half-brother in the race for mayor of Cincinnati, and they beat him by a lot. So, yeah, it was one of the best nights Democrats have had in a very, very long time. Which kind of begs the question. You're a member of Donald Trump's Republican Party. How do you spin what everyone knows was an absolute thumping of your party? Well, they took different approaches. Little Mike Johnson went with the kind of the denial approach.
There's no surprises. What happened last night was blue states and blue cities voted blue. We all saw that coming. And no one should read too much into last night's election results. Off-year elections are not indicative of what's to come. I don't think the loss last night was any reflection about Republicans at all.
Okay. I mean, Johnson says that this was just blue states voting blue. Never mind the fact that Democrats won in the Republican-controlled state of Virginia, or that these victories stretch deep into red states and small towns pretty much everywhere. So denial is certainly one way to cope with such a devastating loss, I guess.
You want to see the most gall you have maybe ever seen in your life? This guy literally takes the cake.
In these elections, maybe after tomorrow, they'll come to their common senses again and do the right thing. We certainly pray that is true. And Republicans will be on the job every single day, serving our constituents, helping guide them through the chaos that the Democrat shutdown has created, and praying that they do the right thing and stop making the American people suffer because of this nonsense. Thank you.
Republicans will be there. We will be at work every step of the way, helping our constituents. I'm sorry. House Republicans have not been at work in 6 weeks, not since September 19th. And before that, they were barely in session either. They've literally worked 20 days out of this entire last session. And what have they done? They've passed one bill, which took a whole bunch of money from working class Americans and poor people and gave it to rich people. That's all they've done. So the idea that they would come back to work and help anybody is laughable. But that's not all. He goes on. The other part of it, I pray that we will be able to stop the suffering inflicted on Americans. I'm sorry, which suffering was that? Was that the suffering of a president capriciously, unnecessarily, and contrary to court orders, refusing to give people nutritional assistance so their children could eat? Is it the suffering of the 24 million Americans who are finding out right now that they are likely not going to be able to afford health insurance after January 1st? Is it the suffering of the Epstein victims who are literally sending you letters begging you to swear in Adelita Grihova so that she can finally take her seat and finally these files can start to be released? Is it the suffering of the federal workers that Donald Trump has fired with DOJ? Is it the suffering of immigrants in our Latino community who are being literally targeted and tortured on the streets, pregnant women, children, elderly, and the suffering of the communities who love them? Or maybe he's talking about the suffering of all the people with cancer and other chronic illnesses who had hoped that a cure would be discovered but now do not because they have killed all scientific research. Whatever the suffering is, the one thing we can be guaranteed of is that Republicans, especially under this man and Donald Trump, will never solve it. By the way, if this is what hard at work looks like, Jesus, I want that job too. Sign me up. Actually, there's not enough money in this world to make me into something like that, because this is just gaslighting like I have never seen in my life. Congratulations, Mike Johnson. You finally excel at something.
Listen up. I'm going to say this slow, and I'm going to break it down so simple that everyone can understand it, because what I'm about to say is the most important thing you're going to hear today. As of yesterday, we entered the longest government shutdown in American history, and that is on purpose. 13 days ago on my YouTube channel, I put a video up where I said this. But they're supposed to go on holiday break November 20th. And I think Mike Johnson is trying to keep it closed through the 20th, so then he could just be closed all the way through the break and that not be considered closure. Keep in mind, I said that 13 days ago. Watch what I'm about to show you. Congress is controlled by Republicans. And the way our government's set up, the majority party pretty much has all the power. Well, Republicans in Congress do whatever Trump tells them to do. That is not me just talking because I don't like Republicans. They've proven that they will do whatever Trump tells them to do. Trump has even made a joke that he's the Speaker of the House because that weasel Mike Johnson does whatever Daddy Trump tells him to do. And as we all know, the Supreme Court does whatever Trump wants. They've proven that time and again. This is the most corrupt Supreme Court in American history. And when it comes to the executive branch, everybody does what the president says. In fact, they sit around the table and they say, oh, you're such an amazing leader and it's all thanks to you, like North Korean style bullshit. So we have three separate branches of government all doing what one man says to do. They are all at the behest of one man. And this isn't conjecture. This is reality. It's actually happening in front of our faces. And to put a cherry on top of everything, that one man has created a private army that does whatever he wants. ICE, a highly funded private army that answers to no one. Even when congressional members show up to ICE detention facilities to conduct oversight, they are turned away.
Congresswoman Yasemin Ansari, I represent Arizona's 3rd District.
What's the purpose of the visit?
Well, it's an oversight visit as a member of Congress, but specifically I'd like to see my constituent Arbella Marquez. She's inside at Eloy right now.
This private army that Trump has created, they act autonomously. They do whatever they want. They don't follow any rules of law enforcement. They don't identify themselves. They got themselves masked, and they do whatever Trump says, and no one can check them. So we have a guy who controls all three branches of government, has a private army, and now he's shut the government down and he's comfortable keeping it there. And in fact, let me just put some sprinkles here. His attack on SNAP benefits, taking away food benefits and raising healthcare premiums is all by design. It's designed to strain society, to start making people helpless. So he's taken over all three branches of government, created his own private army, and now he's starting to strain society. Prices are going up, healthcare premiums are going up, food is becoming less accessible. You better pay attention. This guy is already an authoritarian dictator, and this isn't just lip service. Do you think authoritarians in the past became that way overnight? No, it's a sliding scale of progression, and we are in a very late stage of it. He already controls all three branches of government, and the government is actively shut down while he does whatever he wants, passes whatever he wants. And oh, by the way, just to put an exclamation point on this, he's only passed one piece of legislation since being president. One. It's the least amount in American history. And that's because he doesn't care about anything else besides being a dictator. And that big, ugly bill was his pathway to make that possible. You better start fucking paying attention. This is not a joke. This is not hyperbole. This is real life.
This is what happens if the government stays closed. November 10th to 16th, the TSA will collapse in on itself. Going into the Thanksgiving weekend, we will see massive cancellations of flights, and security will have multi-hour long lines. November 17th to December 1st, SNAP will come to an end. Government contractors will begin layoffs. Workers will dip into savings and retirement accounts. Passports passports and visas will no longer be issued. IRS delays tax season. The National Science Foundation shuts down our Antarctic research station. December 2nd through the 15th, the recession begins. Unemployment begins to run out in multiple states. The U.S.'s credit rating is downgraded. Holiday retail sales plummet. GDP drops sharply into the negative. The stock market finally catches up to the reality of the shutdown and plummets. Without USDA loans, farms begin to fail and die. Defense contractors, making up a substantial portion of our economy, issue mass layoffs just before Christmas. December 16th to January 1st, the FBI, DEA, and ATF will shelve the majority of investigations, likely ending years-long probes. Prison guards, Border Patrol, and the Secret Service, now unpaid for 3 months, will walk off the job. Courts will be non-functional. January, America defaults on its debt. Unemployment reaches modern-era record highs. Airline disasters are inevitable. Military pay has run out. Military equipment begins to fail without basic maintenance. Violent offenders who could not receive speedy trials are released. With a hungry populace, massive unemployment, a recession in full swing, limited police and military, and no working court system, crime is now rampant. February onward, the housing market collapses. Hundreds of billions in GDP are lost. With no functioning federal services, it's likely groups of states will form coalitions to fund their own services. Federal workers who have decades of training and experience will never return to their work. NASA engineers, NIH and CDC doctors, administrators, park rangers, military service men and women, all gone. America as a nation barely exists. And all of this because Donnie doesn't want you to see a doctor. And of course, because he's in the fucking Epstein files and is scared to fucking death to open the government back up.
It's time for the Trucker John Livestream. Gonna be a good time. Oh yeah. The Trucker John Livestream. Come along for a good time. It's a good time, good time, good time, good time. Trucker John Livestream. It's gonna be a good time. Gonna be the time of your life. Gonna talk some shit. Hush your mouth. Gonna talk a little smack. Gonna talk whatever comes of it. You're gonna always wanna come back. Well, yeah, it's the Trucker John Livestream. He's the biggest, baddest, funniest mother you've ever seen. Watch your mouth, he's headed south. Not even sure what that means, but if it's one thing I know, the Trucker John Livestream is the best thing you've ever seen.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, the moment you've been waiting for. Trucker John.
Hi there. Hi there. Testing, 1, 2, 3. Are we coming in? Oh, this thing is still way behind. Let's see here. Testing, 1, 2, 3. Oh, this thing is still way. Sounds like I'm coming in loud and clear. All right, guys, it's 10:34 a.m. It's a weird time. I messed up on the time. And because it's supposed to be 11, and then, but I did see it, and I saw people were in here, and I was like, well, I'll just come on. But then, I was still editing, and I was still making breakfast. I was having my Intamin donuts. So here we are, kind of right in the middle between the 10 o'clock and the normal 11 o'clock start. So thanks for being here, guys. I do appreciate you. The chat is scrolling. I'm not able to go back to the beginning. I'm where Nick Rich said something to what is Trucker John going to do or something. So I'm still at where you guys were waiting. Michael McAdler says, I saw the Northern Lights. That's about where I'm going to see that it moved. So anyhow, it seems to be moving pretty well. We got 42 watching, only 31 thumbs up. So let's please not conduct ourselves as though we are Republicans, at a deficit. Let's please get to at least a balanced budget and get those thumbs ups going. I would appreciate that. Thank you guys so much. Now, I didn't get any memes to put in that little blank spot. I don't think I have any new memes. I do have this still photo. This is from the guy yesterday in the intro. He was driving around. This guy was driving around the country pulling this trailer. It says Trump is killing our democracy. So I guess we could put that in there for now, and guess we could do that. Whoops, that's a little too close to the TV there. Here, hang on a second. This all looks a little off. It looks a little off. So anyhow, good morning, everybody. I saw Nick Rich here, Michael Andrews, Belfast Bob is here. Nick Rich, 56, 10 a.m. So that was 10 a.m. That was 37 minutes ago. I'm 37 minutes behind you. I'm a 37 minutes behind you, Nick Rich. But Michael McAdrews is there. Williams here. So hello, everybody. Hello, James Adamio is here. Alvin Stuber, at least was 37 minutes ago. I don't know who's here, still here now. Anna Moore's here. Anna Moore is saying hello to everybody. Let me skip on down, get a little bit more current. Alton Gillespie, hello, Alton from Paradise, Texas. Paradise Road is calling, so you better hurry along. Paradise Road is calling, so you better hurry along. Alton Gillespie. Let's see here. What's going on? I'm just skipping down, trying to get caught up a little bit. I don't like being 37 minutes behind. I can handle 20 minutes or so, but 37 is a bit much. So let's go ahead and skip down a little bit. Ivy Joe Raines was here, or hopefully is still here. Ivy Joe says, thank you. It means a lot. So I'm kind of mid-thread. I don't know what she's saying, what it means a lot about. But let's go ahead and read it anyhow. It says, I have no family or friends, so this is challenging for me between this infection and cancer. Hopefully one of them will let me go. That sounds very, very dark. And I'm sorry to hear about your health issues there. I am mid-thread, so. But yeah, I hope things work out for you, Ivy Joe. Mad Mac is here. Slava Ukraini. Mr. Spock says, I had a chicken cat emergency. Bright Eyes helps kicking links out of Bright Eyes laying box. Still haven't got coffee. I had to go to 7. That's another thing. I had to go to 7-Eleven, grab a coffee. We got Jolie here. Hello, Jolie. Good to see you. Thanks for being here. Ask Una is here. Ask Una. It says bam. I think that's in response to something in the intro. Oh, that's right. Is Mad Mac's birthday today? I think we talked about that yesterday. Well, happy birthday, Mad Mac. Happy birthday to Mad Mac. Mad Max says, poor kid, this should not be happening. Yeah, the kid in the intro, 16-year-old kid. And he's afraid that while he's at school, he's going to come home and his parents will be gone. Because I snatched him up and threw him in some dark hole somewhere. That is Trump's America. Welcome to Trump's America, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Trump's America. Yeah, Jolie says, absolutely heartbreaking. This administration is fucking disgusting. I agree. Let's see. DPD 5844 is here. Good to see DPD. Damon Dog says, my friend got his snap. They sent him $16. $16. What the fuck are you going to do with $16? Get a loaf of bread and some Spam. We were talking about Spam earlier. Bonnie says, Trucker John should absolutely go apply for SNAP ASAP. Yeah, because I want my $16. And Susie Jones is here. Hello, Susie Jones. Damon Dog. I'm just kind of scrolling down, guys. I'm going to get a little bit more caught up. This is where everyone is still kind of saying hi to each other, which is great and fine, but, you know. Susie Jones says $16 doesn't raise him out of contempt. The judge ordered him to pay it in full. Oh, it doesn't. Yeah, it doesn't raise Trump out of contempt. Okay, right. Barney Balcom says Mike Johnson is waiting until Van Epps can be sworn in. Who's Van Epps? I don't even know who Van Epps is. I can go on Snap. 7-Eleven takes EBT, and I can be totally flush in Intamin Donuts. Susie Jones, the kid made me cry. He made me cry too. That's why I put it in there, because it was touching. And if that doesn't sort of tug at your heartstrings a little bit, then I don't know what to tell you. Ask Una says Dinky Donald has a brain made of mashed potatoes, and he plays Atari Pong in it. Petrazi's here. Petrazi 1920. Good to see you, Petrazi. Thanks for coming on in. Wow, it's Fancy. Can I just call you Fancy? You don't mind if I just say Fancy? Fancy's here. Hope you're doing well. I know you've had some issues, and so we're all pulling for you. We're hoping to get through all those medical issues, health issues. What's going on with you? So I'm glad. Maybe it's a positive sign. You're in the driver's lounge, so that should be a positive sign that maybe you're feeling better. So hopefully so. Marsha Jones is here. Good to see Marsha. Nola Carnes is here. Hey, Nola. Thanks for coming on in, hanging out with us. Basic Coding 101 is here. It says Republicans support chaos. Ask Una says all true. I did look, and I know that when that was posted, that was during that the cartoon at the end. A very gloomy cartoon, right? Very gloom and doom. Ask Una says all true, and I think it's all potentially true. I'm just trying I'm scrambling to think, okay, what can we do to stop this? And I think it's going to take Republicans, of course, all of the Democrats on board to stop it however they can, but it's going to take some Republicans to come over and say, enough is enough. And at some point, I think there's going to be some Republicans that are going to break away. And we've seen MTG, for whatever her reasons are, doesn't really matter at this point, but it's going to take some Republicans growing a spine, growing a pair, and standing up to this regime. That's the, and maybe they will at the pressure of their constituents who are losing their benefits, losing their jobs. Jobs are being lost at a humongous clip here. I don't have the stats in front of me, but since Trump has gotten in office, I think we've lost hundreds of thousands of jobs, of layoffs and firings, and so the Republicans are going to feel pressure, I think, from their constituents, and you would think that they would start feeling pressure from maybe the airline industry that's going to get shut down here when flights start getting canceled. I did have a clip in here. My original length of the intro was at 29 minutes and change, almost 30 minutes. So I thought I should cut it down. I don't generally like to go that long on the intro, so I cut a few things out. And one of them was a guy giving a report on all of the airports that are being affected. It was almost every airport you could think of, with canceled flights or reductions in flights and all that kind of stuff. And this is just the beginning of it. So you would think that when people aren't going, regardless of this little thing we have, that there's like a protest thing, a blackout thing, even without that, they should be able to see that people are having a hard time buying their products with this wild, crazy inflation, these policies that under Trump, these tariffs and all this shit. You would think there would be some pressure from these corporations that are by and large Republican, or at least they donate hugely to Republicans. Because a lot of these CEOs, I bet you they're not even fucking registered. I bet you they don't even give a fuck about any of that shit. They just back the party, which is basically by and large the Republican Party, that they know that they think they're going to get the best deals from. They're going to get the tax breaks and deregulation, and that's really all they care about. But they've gone too far, and I think they're seeing that they've got a guy in there that's taking it too far, to the point where it's going to affect their bottom line. Maybe that will get some of these Republicans to stand up to Trump, to join the Democrats, because that's what it's going to take until, we still have a whole year. We still have a whole year till the midterm congressional elections, and we have, and then they don't even get, sworn in until the following January after that. So we've got almost a year and a half. So in the meantime, if things keep progressing like that cartoon mentioned and outlined, we don't have a year and a half, folks. We're going to need more and more Republican politicians, Republican members of Congress to, if not stand up or join the Democrats, at least oppose Trump, which is basically the same, I guess. Because even they can see the writing on the wall, and last Tuesday's election should be a huge wake up call to them. Like like some people have said, yeah, it was expected that Democrats were going to have a good day, but not at the margins that they did. That was what was blowing people away. And even in places like Mississippi, where I think was it Virginia, or both, that in their house assemblies flipped so many seats that they have like super fucking majorities now. That's what people didn't see. They didn't see the huge turnout and the huge margins by which the Democrats would win. They knew they were going to win and have a good day, but they were just blowing the Republicans right out of the water. Right out of the water. Nick Rich 1034. So I'm about 26 minutes? Or what time is it now? 10:50? What am I, 16 minutes? That's not too bad. Yeah, but so let's see. I'm going to scroll on down a little bit here. Noel Carnes is here. We got Jolie. Liberal Dan's here. 32 thumbs up. Thank you, Liberal Dan. We got 44 watching. We're at 44 thumbs up. We are still at a bit of a deficit. And man, that makes me feel like going and taking a shower, guys. You're making me feel like I need to take a shower because I feel like a slimy Republican right now. And I don't likey. Me no likey. Oh, there's some stuff I forgot to do. I forgot to set the super chat goal. There's a lot of stuff I forgot to do today. Today's kind of an off day here for me. I don't know why. I'm not sure why. It's one of them things. It's one of them things. One of them things, everybody. Oh, don't you know? Oh, don't you know? I said, don't you know? Thank you very much. Oh, thank you. Oh, thank you very much. All right. Let's see. Did I do it right? I think I did that right. Yeah, I was on top messages. I didn't do the goal. So anyhow, I'm not able to go back to the beginning of the chat. I'm where Anna Moore says, "Are you okay, fancy?" So that's where we're at. I don't know how many minutes ago that was. Basic Coding 101, $16 ramen and spam. Yeah. And I don't mean to make light of it with my little giggle there. I know this is fucked up. This is really fucked over. We're fucking over people. Trump is fucking over people. You know, this is important. This is people, you know, trying to stay fed and not starve to death. So I don't, you know, but sometimes if you don't laugh a little bit, you just be crying all the time. And you guys don't want to see me cry. You've seen that enough. Well, hey, Robert Perez is here. Says I got my EBT and got paid today. All right. Did you get $16 also? Now you're in California. I don't know if California was able to put in their own funds or something. I know it would be interesting, Robert, if you want to share. It's up to you. Like how much you got for your EBT. Not that I'm not trying to be nosy, but just to compare, like to the other people that they said they got $16. I forget what states they're from. But it would be interesting to see if maybe it's different for different states or whatever, you know. 70B2 is here. Hey, Stephanie, good to see you. Thanks for being here. Thanks for coming on in. Robert got the full amount. Wow. Now, I don't know what your full amount was. I imagine it was more than $16. I wonder if that has something to do with the state is able to put in their own funds into the SNAP program and for their own residents, maybe. I know here in Nevada, we have a Republican governor. He's a fucking MAGA, as far as I'm concerned. And because I think there was, lawmakers here in Nevada, members of the state assembly, and I probably even the U.S. House and Senate probably, they were asking Lombardo, that's our governor, to use, they have state funds, and I guess to bolster SNAP, and he refused to do it. Now I don't know if he's changed his mind or not, because there's been a big outcry here about And I don't know the latest on that. But so I'm just wondering if that would, if each state has their own funds to throw in, then they can get the full amount for their residents of the state there. Maybe I don't know. I don't have any facts to back anything up. Sandy Foltz is here. Sandy says, I was first in the chat today. Thank you, Sandy, for being here. I do appreciate you. Yeah, I wasn't able to go back to the top, and I didn't remember, but thanks for reminding me. Thanks, Sandy, for being here. Jackie is here. Good to see Jackie. Mad Max says Rand Paul is also turning the corner. Well, Rand Paul is always against certain things. You know, he's very libertarian, and so now some of his libertarian views are kind of sounding like he's, turned a new leaf or something. But it doesn't mean I don't agree on some of the things he's saying lately, especially about extrajudicial killing. I don't think that's a libertarian necessarily. I think all of us with all the Democrats and all of us with any conscience or compassion for human life, we don't like this extrajudicial killing that's going on, and Rand Paul is definitely against that as far as like blowing up the Venezuelan fishing boats. Sandy Foss is coming in here with a $2 super chat. Thank you so much. I do appreciate you. Yippee to Sandy. Now it looks like that was put up before I put the goal up, so we're still 0 for 5. But thank you, Sandy. I appreciate you. Helps the show, helps us keep going. Because I have actually been thinking about cutting days or cutting on doing the live stream, because truth be told, I've been missing a lot of days of going to work. I think it's because I'm old, and as I'm getting older, I'm getting less energy. And when I do this show, even though I'm just sitting here talking, it's really not that big of a deal. But afterwards, I feel kind of tired. I feel kind of drained a little bit, and so I go lay down on the couch, and then I'll end up taking a nap, with my intention of going to work, and then I'm like, I don't want to get up from this couch, man, and so I'll end up just staying on the couch, and then there's sort of like this point of no return, because it's almost like a 2-hour bus ride to get to work. And then it gets to this point where it's not even worth going to work, because I would get there way too late. And I know Sandy will go, why don't you just quit doing your show? So, because I love doing this show. I really do. But I think I might have to cut some days back or something, because, I do need to get to work. And I feel like I can't do both right now, unless I just really make myself. But I don't know. There's just something about maybe it's not old age. Maybe it's something else. Because I'm 65. That's not that old. And there's a lot of people my age that probably have a lot more energy than I do, that work and full-time jobs, and I'm basically just sitting around on my ass all the time. But maybe that's it. Maybe that just makes you, the more you sit around, the more you lose your energy or something. I don't know. I've been thinking about maybe cutting back on the show or something. I don't know. I got to do something, because I've been missing way too many days at work, and the thing about where I work, it's a part-time job, so it's not like I'm. In case you guys are wondering, like, how do you just miss work and not get fired or whatever? But I'm a part-time flex, and basically the job requirement was come at least 1 day a week and work 6 hours when you get here. That's my only requirement. And that's pretty much what I've been doing the last few weeks, it seems like, or maybe get a couple days in. And I really need to work more, because, got to pay rent and all that kind of shit. So I don't know. I just gotta. I mean, I have plenty of time, actually. I mean, if I do the show, and usually it's 11 to 1, I could I could be on the bus by 1:30 if I wanted to, and be there by 3:30, and get a full shift in. Work all the way till midnight or whatever, or even not even that long if I didn't want to. Because I usually do more than 6 hours. I usually do 7-8 hours, but I could do it. It's all as far as the time management is concerned. It's just my like I said, my lack of energy. I just don't. I don't know. I'm maybe I'm iron deficient. I don't know. I remember my mom was always iron deficient. She used to take those. Was it one a day or whatever? So anyhow, that's what I got going on. So I don't know. David Dog says, I know 3 people with Harleys that keep them in their living room. My parents, well, one time we had a house in Fresno, California, and we lived up there for a little while, and then we moved back to Apple Valley, and for a while, so they kept the house, and for a while they were renting it out. And then I just remember we had to go up there to do a clean out. This is back when I'm like, what am I, like 10 or 11 or 12, maybe, I don't know, something like that. Probably like 12, I guess. And I remember we had to go because they had a renter in there, and it was kind of those typical things that happens, I guess, when you have people renting. I guess they kind of trashed the house, and I just remember that we found a bunch of stuff like in the living room, and we were pretty sure they were storing a motorcycle in there, because there was just like oil, like on the carpet. There was like oil and sort of parts and stuff, and and it was just like they were using the living room as their garage. Even though there was a big, huge garage, it was like a fucking 3-car garage. This house we had was a beautiful house up in the Fig Gardens area of Fresno, and this is back in the early '70s, in case anyone is keeping score at home. But yeah, I just remember that something about I don't think the motorcycle was still there, but there was a bunch of like motorcycle parts, and there was like just like stains of like oil stains all over the carpet. So that all the carpet had to be ripped out and changed out. And so thank you, motorcycle renters who store your motorcycles in the living room. Not thank. Christina Wild was here. Hey, Christina, good to see you. Thanks for coming on in. We got Roxanne79. Hello, Roxanne. Roxanne, you don't have to turn on the red light. I know Roxanne loves it when people sing that song to her. Jolie says, even though the suffering is awful and things are poised to get worse, Dems had better not cave. They need to hold strong. Republicans will have to make a deal. The election proved that. Unless they just keep it closed, man, and let it fall, and let it all go to shit. Watching that cartoon, I'm not saying that everything is true, is all going to happen like that, but I can see the Republican Party and the oligarchs that back them having no problem whatsoever, because they'll just come in and they'll just buy everything for pennies on the dollar. That's really kind of the game. But this will be to extremes. I mean, this will be like, back to the Black Friday days of 1929 and the Great Depression. DPD says, good luck with that one, TJ. They do not care, because if they did have an ounce of empathy, they would have voted against the death bill. Well, I'm not, look, I'm saying things, I'm not saying all of them will, but I'm saying that there will be more and more and more pressure put on them, maybe. It really doesn't have much to do with empathy. It has to do with, as time goes by, And as more and more business is lost, they might feel pressure from above and below. And by below, I mean like their constituents, the pressure of them complaining about they're losing their benefits. And from above, from CEOs saying, hey, our companies are going under. It really has nothing to do with empathy. And it doesn't matter that they voted against or voting for the death bill, the big, beautiful bill. That's not the point. The point is, as time has gone on, they are under more and more pressure, or they might be. That's the argument. That's what I'm supposing, that they might be under more and more pressure, and some of them might succumb to that pressure. And I'm not saying it's going to happen. I'm just saying that might be our only hope, though, because we have over almost a year and a half before anyone who's voted in the next midterm congressional elections in a year from now, they don't get seated until January. I'm not saying it's I'm just saying that it's gonna take some Republicans coming over to our side. I don't know if it's gonna happen. I don't know. I think it's plausible when you look at what I just laid out with the pressure from above and below. And maybe some of them having their eyes opened to the fact that Trump is sundowning, and he's on this. His health is getting worse and worse, and he's not going to have the pull that he has forever, But I'm not saying it's a slam dunk. It's absolutely going to happen. I'm just saying that to stop what's going on, it's going to take some Republicans to come over, because the Democrats have done everything they can. I think maybe we could do more in terms of getting information out, getting in front of microphones and making sure that you get the pushback. That's what Democrats. That's really all the Democrats can do, is just keep pushing back. And keep insisting that they at the very least swear in Grijalva there from Arizona. At least do that. Sandy Fold says, years ago I got $16 in food stamps. Now I get 156. Did yours go through okay, Sandy, this time? Because you're in New York, you're in a blue state. So it's kind of interesting to figure out these different states and what people are getting. Dame Dog says, you missed happy birthday for Mad Mac. I said happy birthday, unless you're talking to somebody else. I wished them a happy birthday already. So Sandy Fold says 7-Eleven out here, their EBT machine is down and has been down for a year. Wow. Christina Weibel says, yeah, because Dinky's defying judges about SNAP. Mr. Spock says Temu has counterfeit food stamps, free shipping. They don't even use food stamps anymore, right? It's all EBT cards, I believe. Jolie says, Roxanne 79, I just watched the iHip episode with Josh filling in for Pumps and had the chat replay on. I saw you giving it to a troll in the chat, laughing my ass off. I was like, go Roxanne. Roxanne. Nick Rich, you got to pay the bills, TJ. Yeah, I know. Looks like we are at a surplus, 40 watching and 42 thumbs ups. Thank you guys so much. Roxanne says, ooh, you know you gotta work, TJ. You gotta set an alarm when you take a nap. It's not even that. I wake up with plenty of time to go to work. It's not even that. It's not like I'm oversleeping. It's just I just don't feel like getting up. I don't feel like going. I don't. And I know this is probably a lame ass excuse, but if I had a car, I know it would be a whole different thing. But I don't have a car right now, and I just sort of dread like walking to the bus stop, waiting for the bus for 20 minutes or whatever, or then you get on the bus and I got to transfer to another bus, and then there's another 20-minute wait, and I just dread all that. It's all the way across town. It's literally the whole process is usually about 2 hours from the time I leave this door to the time I walk in the door at work over there. It's about 2 hours, and I dread doing that. And I dread it so much that a lot of times I just take an Uber, but then you kind of defeat the purpose of going to work. Because Ubers are expensive, especially during the afternoon. I mean, it's just one way. It's a lot of times it's $25 with the tip. You're looking at almost $30. $30. I usually tip $5 or so. So, and if I did that both ways, that's $60. That's usually that's all my tip money. So it's like, and I'm only clearing from my shift what I'll clear for that day's pay is only like, I don't know, $50 or $60. So if I get $60 on top of that in tips, so that's $120. Altogether, but half of that's going to Uber if I take Uber, and I've done that because I just don't feel like taking the stupid bus. But every time I do it, I'm like, God dang it! I should have just taken the bus, because the bus, I can I got a 30-day pass since I'm a senior, I get a senior discount, so it's like half price. I think it was like $15 or $14 or something for a 30-day pass. Or is it less? Or is it more than that? It might be more than that. It might be 30. Oh no, I think it's $30. Yeah, because I think a regular 30-day pass is about $60. I think, if I remember correctly. And then I get a senior discount for like $30 for the whole month. So it's much cheaper to take the bus, right? That's like $1 a day, basically, I guess. So it's a lot cheaper just to take the bus, but you're looking at 4 hours of commute time, going there and back. 4 fucking hours. So it's just ridiculous. That's why I don't go. If I had my own car, but then it's like, well, you're not going to be able to get a car until you start going to work. So I'm in this bad loop here. Enough of my troubles, which aren't as bad as a lot of you guys have. I know. DPD says at least Stefanik has decided to run for governor of New York. I hope and pray that New York discards this piece of trash like they did with Cuomo, Adams, and Curtis. Me too. I think Hochul will win. Nick Rich says perhaps Trucker John needs to adjust the time of day he does his live stream. Well, then, I've always done it where I don't go up against Hal. I mean, ideally, it would be if I just did like, I was thinking about it too. If I just did a 9 a.m. show and 9 to 11, but then I would be going up against Hal on Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. The thing is, I could do it. I could go, even if I go from 11 to 1, I would just have to leave pretty much right after the show and just go and just do it. Don't lay down. Don't lay down, John, after the show. Just stay on your feet. That's the thing that gets me. See, it's not about oversleeping and setting an alarm. It's just that once I get into that cozy position, I don't want to get back up and go to and start heading up to work and shit. You know, James Adamio says, Christina Weibel, I wonder if any of those judges have a way of putting liens on property or freeze accounts. If not, what the fuck good do their rulings even mean? He gives them this middle finger. They do nothing. They do nothing. You get nothing. Mad Mac, too old. I think someone asked how old Mad Mac is now, because it's his birthday. You get a happy birthday, Mad Mac. Christina Weibel says, James, that's what I want to know too. Judges making ruling and not able to enforce them. That's why I say we are in a constitutional crisis. You know, he's lawless. We have a lawless administration, a lawless president. Mr. Bob Newell's here. Says Yo Trucker John's up. Hey, Mr. Bob Newell, good to see you. Thanks for coming on in. Mr. Bob Newell, oil stains on carpet equal Harleys. I think it was probably. I think there was some bikers, some Fresno bikers. For all I know, they were Hell's Angels. I don't know. DPD 5844, are you good with computers or IT tech? No. I'll just cut you off right here at the pass. No. He says, DPD says, because you could always try remote work and work from home. It would pay more and you could set your own hours. And some companies supply the equipment. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know any of that. That'd be nice. It'd be nice, I guess. But yeah, I'm not good with that. Mr. Bob Newell says, you see Nancy, I guess Mace, go all Karen at the airport. I didn't see that. Did not see that. Roxanne 79 says the song Roxanne by the Police never gets old to me. I put on the stoplight. Brooklyn SJU, member for 7 months, driver. Happy Truckerversary. Brooklyn says, yippee, a milestone chat. Thank you so much, Brooklyn, for being a member for 7 months. I do appreciate you for doing that. We do have those memberships, folks, starting at $1.99 a month. Those all help out. Jolie says, if MTG, one of America's biggest imbeciles, can see the writing on the wall and change direction, the rest of them see it too. Dim needs to hold. Holding. That comes. Two movies come to mind: is Star Wars and Braveheart. Don't they both have scenes like that? I feel as though my glasses are steaming up or something. Let's see. I don't have the AC on. It gets hot. It gets kind of hot in here because when I do the show, I close the window. But overnight, I had the window open, and it got nice and cool in here because overnight it was like 60 degrees, and so I don't have to turn the AC on. Don't have to run that bill up, So it got nice and cool, and I slept like a baby. Night, it's like 60 degrees outside. In here, I don't know what it is, and then now I've got the window shut, and it's starting to get all like, I don't know, steamy in here or something. I think I'm just going to turn the AC on for a little bit because it gets hot in here, man. If the window's not open. All right. Mr. Spock got some free government money today, a heating rebate. Oh, Mr. Spock rubbing it in to us. Are we all just considered Yanks? Like even people from Texas. Are we all anything south of the U.S. Canadian border? Are we just all Yankees to you guys? Yankees. Marshall Jones, what date is Thanksgiving? I don't even know. I didn't even look. Is it somewhere around the 25th or 28th or 27th? I don't know. I didn't look. I haven't even looked. I know I need to call my daughter and see what the plans are this year for Thanksgiving. Robert Perez, Trucker John is singing the No Transportation Blues. I ain't got no transportation. And I'm just laying on my couch all day. Oh, yeah. Ain't got no transportation. Just laying on my couch all day. Oh. Popped open a Corona last night and I said, hey, 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 hey. Yeah, yeah. Thank you. Thank you very much. Barbara Nicholas says, Trucker, no one in your area that you could be able to work with, ride to work with? Not that I know of. I don't really talk to anybody at work. Maybe I should be a little more sociable. Because I've always thought about that. Like, you know, as I'm standing either on the corner waiting for an Uber, because a lot of times I do take the bus there and I'll Uber back, you know, because it's like midnight or 1 a.m. or 1:30 a.m. And, you know, if I catch a bus at 1:30, then I'm not getting back till 3:30, you know, all that kind of shit. But a lot of times I'm thinking, gee, I wish it'd be nice if I knew someone and, you know, and we lived nearby and I could ride with them. That'd be nice. Aaron West is here. Aaron West says full mod capacity. I believe Jolie's still here, so you're right, Aaron West. We are at full mod capacity. Full mod capacity. I don't know why I started doing that. I really don't know why. I don't know why I do most of the shit that I do. Mr. Spock, member for 10 months. Happy Truckerversary. Yippee. Happy birthday, Mad Mac. Thank you, and thank you, Mr. Spock, for being a member for 10 whole months. I do appreciate you. That does help us keep on the air, so to speak. David Dog says, okay, kitchen is mostly clean, dishwasher is running, still got to sweep and mop, ramen break time. How much ramen can you buy for $16? You can get a few. You can get a few of those, I guess, huh? Roxanne says Brooklyn. Wow. I'm mid-thread. I don't know. You guys were asking Brooklyn. I guess Brooklyn's been losing weight. Maybe. Let's see. Oh yeah, it says Brooklyn says. Hi Roxanne. Yes, I've been going to the gym. I lost 25 pounds. Went back to blonde hair, and I fit in my skinny jeans. Awesome. That's awesome. So yeah. So then Roxanne was, because I was just wondering what. I kind of jumped in mid-thread here. And Roxanne was saying that's great. Oh yeah, right down here, Roxanne says that's great. Congratulations, that's awesome. I'm so proud of you. You need I need to lose a nice 25 pounds too. I've been slacking on using my yoga swing. So congratulations to Brooklyn SJU, Trixie LaRue. Aaron West says Thanksgiving is the 27th, which was my third guess. David Dog, my little sister is a Scorpio, November 1st. Jolie's laughing at Trucker John. I'm not sure. It could be a number of things. Any number of things laughing at me about. Marsha Jones says that, Jolie, you have big houses there. Laundry room in the UK is the kitchen. Mad Mac, member for 20 months. Happy Truckerversary and happy birthday to Damon Dog. Damon Dog says, thanks everyone for the birthday wishes. You are very welcome, and thank you for being a member. One of the early ones, one of the long-standing members. So thank you so much, Mad Mac. Slava Ukraini, happy birthday, happy Truckerversary. Yippee! You get the whole thing there. Boy, and I think I've caught up. I might have skipped a lot, but I've caught up pretty much. Roxanne says, Damon Dog, I just got the mop back Roomba for an early Xmas present. It was on sale, but it was a cool gadget and no more aches and pains. It cleans under all my armoires, etc. too. Brooklyn SJU says, I still think the funniest thing that I've seen here was when one of the mods magic markered a black eyebrow on a TJ. I believe that would be Jolie. Aaron West says, I'm eating a Nanamo bar? Nanamo bar? For the first time? I've never even heard of it. What the hell is a Nanamo bar? Nanomimo. Nanamo. In Nanamo only. I don't know. John Glad's here. Hey, always good to see John Glad. Always glad to see John Glad. Hi, nothing at all to laugh about. Thanks, John. Thanks for bringing me down, man. You're bringing me down. Don't bring me down, 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 down. Don't bring me down, 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 down. Don't bring me down, 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 down. I could do that forever, I think. Damon Dog says, Roxy79, I've been wanting one I wish I could try before I buy. I think we're talking about the Roomba. Roomba! William says, I didn't get my EBT this month, but I did get my $22.10 from the state. And you're living it up. You're living it up now, aren't you? He's living it up on his $22.10. You don't know what you're going to do it. You're going to make that boop, 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 boop. I don't know. $22.10. My God, you're a high roller. You're high rolling. Damon Dog says, William, hey, my friend got $16. I'm thinking that was from the state NC. Paul Burrows. Hey, Paul. Up there in Idaho says, I'm trapped under a cat. And I hope it's just a cat, like it's a joke, like the cat is sitting on your lap. And I really hope it's not you, like somehow overturning a caterpillar, bulldozer thingy, and you're trapped. And the only message you could get out was somehow to the Trucker John channel. Because if that's the case, I think you're screwed. If we're your only hope, you are screwed, my friend. James Jaramillo, love ELO. I do too. I wish they would play at the Sphere, even though I don't know if they exist anymore. Mr. Spock says, Nanamo bars are addictive. Once I eat one, it's evil. I've never in my life heard of it. Have these been around a while? I swear to God, I've never heard of a Nanamo bar. Or Nanaimo. I don't even know how you pronounce it. Nanamo. In the Namo. Stop in the name of law. I ain't never heard of it. Ain't never heard of it. Ivy Joe Rain says this may be the drugs, but it's really pretty snowing. Well, I think even without drugs, when it snows, it's very pretty. Especially if it's just nice, big, fat snowflakes and they're just sort of floating down. If it's like a real, like, raging storm, then that might not be as pretty. I like the days when it's just kind of a calm thing and it's just snowing and it's slowly, it's sticking and it's slowly, covering everything and turning everything white. And you just have these nice, big, white, fat, fluffy snowflakes falling down. And it's always quiet. There's this quietness about it. But I like those type of snowfalls. Stephanie B2 says, Richard and I saw Jeff Lynne's ELO a few years ago. David Dog says, amino with an N. Namino. Well, what's the other part? It looks like there's more than just that. They spelled it like NANAIMO. That's either that's spelled wrong or that's wrong. Something's wrong. Something's wrong here. I'm using my detective skills, my skills of detection, and something's not adding up right there. Mad Mac. Nanaimo. I've never fucking heard of it in my life. I don't believe you guys. I think this is I think you guys are pranking me, punking me. It's an elaborate thing. While I was gone, while I was going to the store or something, you guys came up with this plan. And I'm calling it. You guys are punking me. You guys punking me? Roxanne said, Mad Max, me too. I named my Roomba Rosie from the Jetsons. William says, I saw ELO 3 times in the 70s. David Dog, maybe I read that wrong. My bad. Nick Rich. Nanaimo. Again, you're punking me. You guys are punking me. There's no such thing called Nanaimo. God damn it. I'm not going to be 65 years old and all of a sudden I'm just hearing of something that's been around apparently. No. I call bullshit. You guys are pranking me. Ha ha ha. Very funny. You guys are so funny. Oh, let's play a prank on Trucker John and make up this name for a candy bar. Ha ha ha. Very funny. I think I just dribbled some coffee down my front. Roxanne says she's never heard of it either. See, you guys made a mistake. You didn't get Roxanne in on the joke. Mad Max says Nanaimo is a city in British Columbia. Ooh, British Columbia, fancy town. Or as I like to call it, Fancy Town. Damon Dog says it's called Let's Fuck with John Plan. It's called the Just So John. MJ Daniel says Pacific Northwest thing. The Nanaimo bar is you're in on it too, MJ. The Nanaimo bar is a bar dessert that requires no baking and is named after the Canadian city of Nanaimo. Well, what was the thing about amino acids? Anyhow, in British Columbia, they are yummy. Or don't you mean Fancy Town? We're going to do Fancy Town. Fancy needs to have a fancy town. Now that I think of it. Look, Dragon says at 7 o'clock to 11:30, ELO should be on Broadway. And FM should be a movie by Steely Dan. TGIF Led Zeppelin is a 1,500-page novel. No period, no punctuation. Has punctuation all over the place, but not there. It's the end of it's a sentence that has no end. DPD 5844 says, I know Mad Mac. I thought I was the only one who loved the magic of appliances. I like my toaster and my Keurig and my microwave and my fridge. Hi, guys over there. Just letting my appliances know I appreciate you guys. Aaron West says, I never heard of the name of bars until Schitt's Creek, a Canadian show. Oh, yeah, the Canadians. They'll do that. They'll sneak in shit like that. They'll sneak that shit in on you. Mr. Spock says they are the best bars. Now I want Nanaimo bars. MJ Daniel, or is it? TJ may never know. John Glad's glad. I'm glad to see John Glad. Glad says a no-bake 3-layer dessert from Canada. This is getting serious, guys. This is getting serious. More and more people getting in on this prank. Okay, it's not funny anymore, guys. It's not funny anymore. This is about blueberry grunt. That doesn't sound good. Paul Burrows says, I make pea meal bacon. Pea meal bacon, you say? Is it from Fancy Town? This pea meal bacon that you speak of, is it from Fancy Town? Otherwise known as British Columbia? I've never been to British Columbia. I just imagine all the people that live in British Columbia look like this. Hey, yes, we're going to have our Nanaimo bars now. I've just alienated the whole British Columbia faction of the Trucker John show, Trucker John Livestream. That's how I roll, man. I'm constantly shooting myself in the foot. So. Damon Dog says I'm going to make keto muffins tonight. Cottage cheese, egg, almond flour, blueberry. There's a fucking something flying around in here. And stevia. Oh, go easy on the stevia. God dang it! There's something flying in here. A little tiny little something. A little that stevia. A little goes a long way. Believe me, I've found out the hard way. Put that in my iced tea the other day, and I loaded it up like it was regular sugar, and I was like, oof, that's a bit much. It's a bit much. Aaron West is allergic to the stevia, so don't give her any of those, any of your muffins there, Damon Dog. Look, Dragon says there is a movie called FM that is Steely Dan's best song. God damn it, Trucker! I thought you would get that joke. I know that Steely Dan has a song called FM. How is that a joke? For one thing, you're a lousy joke teller. You need to learn how to deliver a joke. Okay, that's one thing. Jokes aren't jokes if you don't deliver them right. Roxanne79 says, I'm getting hungry. I think I'm going to have Culver's Butterburger. I'm going to wait for Jen at the doctor. He lets me use his unlimited DoorDash pass, but he's got to order. It's so yummy. I know. I like Culver's. And there is actually, I think, a Culver's here in Vegas somewhere. I think it's at one of the casinos. Because they don't have them. As far as I know, there's none in California yet. I did write them a letter probably 10 years ago now. After I discovered Culver's for the first time for myself, when I was in Wisconsin, that's the home of Culver's. And I was like, God, these are delicious. Everything here. I had the burgers. I had the fucking frozen yogurt shit. I had the cheese curds, all that shit. I was like, God, this is fucking delicious. And then, I looked it up, and they're like none in California. The further west you go, the fewer and fewer there are of them. I do think they are in the greater Phoenix area there, because I've eaten at that one. They have some around Phoenix area. I think they do have one here. I'm thinking maybe at Palace Station, maybe. I don't know. Somewhere around. As far as I know, there's still none in California. But I did write them a letter saying, I just went to you guys for the first time, and I think you guys they did respond. They said, thank you very much for your suggestion, and we'll keep that in mind, and all that, blah, blah, blah. As far as I know, though, I don't know if they're in California yet. I don't know. But yeah, Culver's is good. Very, very, very good. MJ Daniel says, a place we used to get fresh apple cider and warm apple fritters has great Nanaimo bars. Guys, this is just going on too much here. But they refuse to make people wear masks during COVID. Turns out they are MAGA. We have not been back since. At the apple cider place. Yeah, fuck those assholes. And Mad Max says Nanaimo is on Vancouver Island in BC. Yes, in British Columbia, the fancy town of British Columbia. Bethany S. Barball's here. Hello, Bethany. Good to see you. Thanks for coming on in. Elvis Dude, what is stevia? It's a artificial sweetener, or it's supposed to be, or maybe it's not. It's made out of natural. So maybe it's not artificial, but it's a sugar substitute made from the stevia leaves, I guess. Stevia leaves. In other words, it's not made out of chemicals, like the pink packet, the blue packet. I forget the names of those ones, but David Dog says stevia is very sweet, but won't affect your A1C. Nick Rich says stevia ain't salvia? What the hell is salvia? I don't even know what that is. Look, Dragon says the movie is actually called FM, and Steely Dan wrote the song for it? I don't know. Why are you asking me? Who's on first? Roxanne says, look, Dragon, you and Jen can't tell jokes according to TJ. Well, yeah, I'm trying to think if Jen has ever even told a joke ever on my channel. Yeah. Luck Dragon is a horrible joke teller. It's there's a setup. You got a setup, and then you got to have a punchline. You're just horrible at it. Luck Dragon says, and then you put these question marks all over everything. Luck Dragon says the song by Steely Dan called FM only appears in the movie soundtrack and their greatest hits. Was that a joke too? Am I going to get accused for not laughing? Was that supposed to be a joke too? Aaron West says, I'm an NSYNC fan. Steely Dan wrote their Grammy. Oh, stole their Grammy. Not wrote their Grammy. Stole their Grammy. F Steely Dan. Uh-oh. Now you've done it, Luck Dragon. Now you've done it. You done pissed off Aaron. Roxanne says Culver's Butterburgers are the best. In Green Bay, there's a place called Kroll's who has Butterburgers too. My fave. James Jaramillo says, I just looked up the Nanaimo bar. They are legit, sir, TJ. Oh, how far will you go on this elaborate prank, James Jaramillo? The lengths of which you guys were going is getting really out of hand. Darkly Yours is here. Says that sounds healthy. I'm having egg drop soup. I like it when I have a cold. I've had egg drop soup. It's all right. DPD 5844 Culver's frozen custard is the best. Yeah, it's good. It's good shit. That's some good shit, man. Jolie says Trucker John has channel memberships and super chats. You can also support the show by liking, subscribing, and sharing, or buying John a coffee. There's the link for the Buy Me a Coffee link. And there's also down below there a PayPal link. If you guys want to help support the show, keep us going, keep us growing and going. We do have memberships starting as low as $1.99 a month. Pretty cheap. I'm a cheap date, $1.99 a month. David Dog says, I love salmon at Brooklyn. SJU, Brooklyn. Yeah. I had a friend make me cedar grilling planks. I loved it. That sounds good. That does sound delicious. Deliciosos. It sounds so delicious. Hi, I'm Julia Child. Today we're going to make whatever he's called it. Plank. We're going to make some plank salmon. And I have to cut the head off with this butcher knife. Oh, I've seemed to have cut my wrist. I'm trying to do the Dan Aykroyd thing, but now we know I never made it in the entertainment world. Matt, province, not town, laughing out loud. Oh, province. See? My point exactly. The British Columbians are very fancy. It's a province. It's a province. You know, I'm just kidding with you, right? You know, I'm just kidding. Now, see, like, look, Dragon's not the only one who can tell bad jokes. NutraSweet is awful. Aaron says NutraSweet. Yeah, there's NutraSweet, and there's a couple other ones, and they're all full of chemicals and bad for you. Now, the one that I used to always get was the was it NutraSweet? Wait, which one is the yellow packet? I like the yellow packet, actually. And then my daughter was always yelling at me not to use it because it said it's going to cause cancer or it has like arsenic in it or something. But then, so I just said, screw it. I'll just go back to regular sugar. And I've just been using regular sugar for the last 15 years. David Dog says, salvia is mint sage, I think. Mint sage. Boy, we were just getting off on some strange topics today. MJ Daniel says, yes, Steely Dan recorded the song FM for the movie FM. Was that the joke? Look, Dragon, did you hear? That's how you do a joke. That's how you do it. No, I don't think he was. I don't think he was joking though. I'm so confused. I don't know when I'm supposed to laugh. I'm not supposed to laugh. Roxanne 79 says most of what Jen says is a joke. He's a wise ass for sure. Dark Lear says salvia is a mild hallucinogenic plant. It's not regulated that much and fades really quickly, I think. Well, I'll try that. I'll try me some salvia. I wouldn't mind a mild hallucinogenic. Because I find that when I am on hallucinogenics, I can actually say the word perfectly. I need a hallucinogenic just so I can pronounce the word. Mr. Spock says, salvia is evil. My son gave me some potent stuff. What a trip. What a strange long trip it was. MJ Daniel says, salvia. We have a salvia. Am I saying it right? Salvia? Salvia. We've got salvia up there from Fancy Town. Hot Lips. Wait, what? We have a salvia Hot Lips by our kitchen window. The hummingbirds love. It is kind of sage. What's Hot Lips? Is that a joke too? I don't know. Luck Dragon says, I really thought that you would know that Steely Dan wrote that song from the movie soundtrack, bro. I'm really sorry, man. First of all, I did know that FM was a Steely Dan song. Okay, so I don't know what that has to do with somehow not getting your joke. You don't know how to write a joke, my friend. That's your problem. You're a lousy joke teller. It has nothing to do with me not knowing or knowing that FM. I know that FM, the song is playing in my head right now. You're a lousy joke teller. Danny Pomeroy says, number 51. Hey, there you go. Thumbs up. Thank you for the thumbs up, Danny Pomeroy. We're at 54. Make sure you guys hit the thumbs up. Even if you're a lousy joke teller, hit the thumbs up. Duck Lior says Culver's is one of those places you can go in and eat a 3,000 calorie meal. I know, that's true. There's a lot of calories there. And that butter ain't calorie free. That's for show. That's for show, for show, for show. Mad Max says, that's how I barbecue my salmon too. Yum. David Dog says, darkly yours. I love Culver's butter burgers. James Hanamio says, come on, man. I'm on your side. I wasn't buying it at first either. David Dog, I loved Julia Childs. You can still love her. Like Dragon, Steely Dan is better than Chicago. Aaron, I love you. Did I miss something about Aaron saying something about Chicago? The band? MJ Daniel, Dan Aykroyd, that was a funny SNL skit. Darkly Yours, yeah, Butterburgers are guilty pleasure, but if I'm having a burger, I want to go all out. Brooklyn SJU says, I feel like I want to go off my diet Sunday for my birthday. Any suggestions for a nice meal? Go get the steak and lobster tail at Red Lobster. That would be my suggestion. Roxanne says, TJ, you're cracking me up today. Well, that's good. That's good. Splenda, that's the one, Stephanie. Splenda, yes. I used to use Splenda a lot, like way back. I mean, even going back as far, what I think it first came out in the 80s, didn't it? Or early 90s? And so I just switched to Splenda because I thought it tastes like sugar and it's supposed to be, I don't know, not as sugary. And then at some point, I think in the 2000s, my daughter came along and started giving me shit for it all the time, saying that it's going to cause cancer or something. And so I said, okay, I'll just use regular sugar. And I went back to regular sugar. Because I never did like, NutraSweet or the other one. There's a pink one and a blue one. I forget the name. I never did like those. I didn't like all the aspartame that's in it. Because Splenda, I believe, has no aspartame. That's why it was supposed to be better than the other ones. There's Dark Yours. There's aspartame in and sucrose. Aspartame is the dementia one, and sucrose does other stuff, I think. And I'm pretty sure Splenda doesn't have any of that. That's why it was that's why Splenda was supposed to be like so much better than those ones. Luck Dragon says, I love when TJ makes fun of me. I might be the biggest bug in his life. Please laugh. The fact you said please laugh that's what made me laugh. The rest of that shit did not make me laugh. The please laugh part did make me laugh though. Yeah, just a horrible joke teller. Jolie says post roast, maybe pot roast, mashed potatoes and gravy, green beans and dinner rolls. That's for Brooklyn's birthday dinner. That sounds delicious. That does sound delicious. Mr. Spock, no, you don't at TJ. I don't what? See, whatever I said 20 minutes ago, I don't know what you're talking about. Because we've talked about a bunch of stuff in between. So I don't know. Sorry. David Dog says Brooklyn have a steak and salad, no carbs, off diet, but still carb free. Yeah, it wouldn't be too bad. Danny Pomeroy says mild, just don't eat as much. Laughing out loud. Bethany Arbaugh says Dan Aykroyd as the hooker was the best. Can't remember his name. I don't remember that one either. Nick Rich talking about drugs today. Never thought that would be the topic. Well, that was briefly, and now you've brought it back up. It was briefly, very briefly. Danny Pomeroy says 4077 hash pot lips. Laughing out loud. Look, Dragon says, I know this sounds crazy, but it might be sacrilegious. But I prefer canned cranberries more than the fresh. I'm also a huge stovetop stuffing fan. Hilarious, Luck Dragon. That was hilarious. Roxanne, I love ZZ Top. She got legs. She knows how to use them. She's got legs. Yeah, that's a good song. She knows how to use them. Mr. Spock, I look like 50x potency type thing twice. It was not a fun trip either time. Oh, talking about the salvia. I've never even heard of salvia. I never heard of it. Another thing I haven't heard of. I never heard of Nemo, and I never heard of salvia. Now we are getting full into drug talk. Was it Nick or Spock or whoever brought that up? Luck Dragon says, when I take a very small amount of mushrooms, I find myself to be better at video games. I don't know. Do you? MJ Daniel, I had some mild hallucinogenic. I plan to smoke later tonight. Yeah, we're fully into it now. We're fully into the drug talk. Drug talk. Trucker John, welcome. Welcome to this week's edition of Drug Talk with Trucker John. DBD says, has anyone ever had a Sean Evans Hot Ones burger before? No, I have not. I never heard of it. No, I ain't never heard of it. Never heard of it. No. Damon Dog says, I'm trying to get back to 100% keto. I lost 70 pounds. Just got to motivate myself. Yeah, going 100% keto, you will drop lbs. I need to do that. I've done that before. I need to do it again. I need to do it again. I need to do it again. Jolie says, don't listen to Damon Dog at Brooklyn SAU. It's your birthday. Throw the diet out the window for the night. Finish it with a big old piece of cake with ice cream. Your diet will be waiting for you on Monday. There you go, Jolie. You tell her. That's a good one. It's your birthday, Live it up. Live it up. Roxanne says, mushrooms are the best. I love going to concerts and shows on them. Been some years since that happened. I wouldn't even know where to get mushrooms if I wanted to. Bethany Arbaugh says, can't stay on long going to bingo with my friend. She is picking me up at 3:30. Well, good luck with the bingo. Hope you win some bingos. Hope you win some jackpots. Look, Dragon. No static at all? Okay, I know that's a lyric from the song FM, okay? Am I supposed to laugh now? Was that your punchline? Am I supposed to laugh? Was that the setup and the punchline all at once? Was that a callback? What was that? Am I supposed to laugh? Am I going to get in trouble if I don't laugh? I know that was a lyric. Those are lyrics from the song FM. Are you happy now? Are you happy? Oh, yeah, Sweet and Low. 70. Sweet and Low is the pink one. Yeah, so Sweet and Low, NutraSweet, those are all crap. Stevia is supposed to be completely natural. It's from a stevia leaf. And it's okay, but I think it's a little funky tasting, but it's not too bad. And then the other one, that I've already forgot the name, the yellow one, Splenda, yeah. Now, Eric says Splenda is sucralose. So, but I think it's not as bad as aspartame or something. Stephanie2 says, as a diabetic, I will take Splenda over anything else. Even over stevia? Because stevia is supposed to be completely 100% natural. I'm just warning people that a little bit goes a long way with the stevia. Luck Dragon says, by the way, if you read a book or watch a movie, you might actually get my joke. Any book? Any movie? If you learn the proper use of punctuation, you might actually make sense. How's that? I don't know what books you're reading, but do they put question marks at the end of every goddamn sentence, and then at the end of a paragraph, they don't even put a period or anything? What kind of books are you fucking reading? C-Spot Run? Is that where you're at in your reading? Stephanie B says, I get my insulin pump installation on Monday. Yay, less needles and no more long-acting insulin. That's good news, Stephanie. Good to hear that. Getting better equipment there. Luck Dragon, it's great to hear another perspective. My mother keeps telling me I'm hilarious. I don't know, does she? Damon Dog says, Stephanie too. This not only is we're doing drug talk, we're doing also artificial sweetener talk. Damon Dog says, 72, Splenda will affect your A1C. Try stevia. Doesn't cause an insulin reaction like Splenda can. There you go. And just a reminder, none of us are doctors, and so, consult your physician for any dietary advice. Danny Pomeroy says, that reminds me, I have to prepare meatloaf for dinner tonight. Back potatoes and Brussels sprouts and cinnamon pumpkin cream cheese pie for dessert. Damn, Danny. That sounds good. And I'm not even in the meatloaf, but I bet you make a good meatloaf. Twisted Nerves says, good afternoon, John. Hey, Twisted Nerves, good afternoon to you. Good to see you. Thanks for coming on in. Thanks for hanging with us for a bit. Always good to see you. Twisted Nerves was in class. That's okay. It's okay. Class comes first. Let's see. Nick Rich says, it's funny how one word can steer us off the road. Nah, we just have a windy road. A long and winding road. Boom, 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 boom. Damon Dog says, Brooklyn SJU, my friend's girlfriend's braided it once. Oh, you're talking about the beard. I have some one day blue hair dye in my Amazon cart. I'm trying to talk myself into dyeing it for November 22nd protest in DC. Do it, Damon Dog. Do it. Do it. Do it. Do it. Do it till you're satisfied. Whatever it is. Yeah, Jolie's like, what time is dinner, Danny Pomeroy? And your address. Yeah, I'm not even the meatloaf, but I bet you the meatloaf is yummy. I bet you. And all that stuff with it. Man, it's almost like a Thanksgiving dinner, except without the turkey. Who needs turkey at this point? Luck Dragon says, you make me laugh? Eddie Murphy would get that joke. If you say so. If you say so. Luck Dragon, there is nothing wrong with drugs. I do believe drugs can be misused and abused. So you got to be careful. People got to be careful. Anna Moore says, I just read that former Prince Andrew has been summoned by the U.S. Congress regarding the Epstein files. Let's go. Let's go. I like the nightlife, baby. Yeah. Let's go. I like the nightlife, baby. She said. Then Danny Pomeroy, 5 or 6 p.m. serving time on the river. Mad Max says, I've never done mushrooms, but a friend told me he gets them at the Indian reservation along with peyote. Or peyote. Luck Dragon, 2112. I haven't done mushrooms in over 20 years, and the last time I did mushrooms, I saw my fingers grow black nails in real time. That freaked me the hell out. Wow. Nice long run-on sentence there. Bethany Armball says, I hope I win bingo. Thanks, Trucker John. I hope you do too. Lots and lots of jackpots. Mad Mac, just give them cyclamates. Oh boy. Cyclamates. He said cyclamates. Marshall Jones, how do you know what mushrooms to pick without poisoning yourselves? We're talking about magic mushrooms, which is something, so I don't know. And I don't know how you do that, actually. MJ Daniel, James Joyce. Nick Rich, 1202. I'm only 6 minutes behind you, Nick Rich. 6 minutes behind you, Nick Rich. 6 minutes behind you, Nick Rich. I'm only 6 minutes behind you, Nick Rich. Thank you very much. Hey, Brooklyn with a $1.49 super sticker. Thank you so much, Brooklyn. Yippee. $1.49 with a nice, pretty piece of pink birthday cake there. I do appreciate you. James Jaramillo says, last time I took mushrooms, I was in Salt Lake City. I thought I was going to effing die in an overdose. Never again. Wow. Yeah. Yeah, man. That's one thing. Some of these things, you never know the potency of it. That's what I'm telling you. People got to be careful. People got to be careful with your drugs. Be careful with them drugs. Them drugs gonna get you. Roxanne79 says, I found mushrooms in parking lots of concerts and festivals, fish and bluegrass, funk. They all turn out fun. Fun, fun, fun. We're gonna have some fun. Jolie says, are you talking about Andrew Mountbatten Windsor? Anamore, good. Let's fucking go. MTG says that she will read all the names on the list if they ever open Congress again or whatever, open the House, whatever. She'll just read them all. Good for her. She better read them all. If she's going to read them, she better read them all, not just cherry pick. So that's what I got to say about that. Hey, wow, it's fancy $2 super sticker. Yippee! Thank you so much with that little super sticker there. Fancy $2 super sticker with the hey you, hey you, hey you, hey you. Roxanne says, James Hadamio, yeah, you only have a few. I hate the way they taste. I have to hide them in food. Danny Pomeroy says, I was taking 19 units of insulin, then Ozempic after 3 months, took it to 0 units of insulin. That Ozempic worked well. Wow. Wow. Johnny Meyer says, Donald Trump is proof why you shouldn't eat at McDonald's. Yeah, I do eat there occasionally. Twisted Nerve says, hello there, Marshall Jones. I stick to the ones my grandmother taught me when I was a kid. I have been foraging for morels and sulfur shelf for many years. I think it is something, though, that, yeah, you have to have knowledge of so you don't kill yourself or others. Step 2, I've gotten my A1C down from 8.2 to 6.5. MJ Daniel says, the mushroom tea we drank before Pink Floyd in 87 made the show very interesting for sure. I bet it did. I bet it did. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Bueller. 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 Oh, boy. Doot, 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 doot. Doot, doot, doot. Fancy says, shared the show. I'm going to rest for a while. Thank you so much, Fancy. I appreciate you. And yeah, get some rest. And I hope you're feeling better. Get better soon. We're all thinking about you out here in Trucker John land and Hal Sparks land and all the lands, all the chat rooms. We're all thinking about you. Just hoping the best for you. Roxanne with a $1.99 super sticker. Yippee! We're getting super stickers. We're not getting super chats, but we're getting super stickers. So thank you, Roxanne. I appreciate you. Help with the show. Help us keep going and growing. John from Las Vegas is here. Says, hello, Trucker John and Loungers. I don't usually work on Friday, but taking advantage of the SEMA crowd. Hope everyone's doing well. See, that's what I need to do. I need to get out there and take advantage of the SEMA crowd. So I'm going to end the show pretty quick, and I'm going to force myself. I'm going to stay off the goddamn couch, and I'm going to go catch the bus and get to the work, and go get some SEMA loads. That doesn't sound right. No, I don't want SEMA loads. I mean, SEMA rides. SEMA rides. I'm used to trucker parlance where we get loads. We pick up loads. Anyhow. Yeah. What is going on? What is going on with some people? Anyhow. Twister's okay class is over, setting up to film some painting. Time for bong loads of head cracker. All right, Twisted Nerves. Thanks so much for dropping by, and good luck with the painting and all of that good stuff. All that good kind of good stuff. Good stuff. DBD, yeah, the tiny homes. We've gone through that conversation before. DBD says, TJ, have you ever thought of a tiny home? Or what about anyone else in the chat? I personally think this could solve some aspects of homelessness. It's less space and more units. What do you think? I think that's one of the things I think Gavin Newsom was going to try to do, and he caught a lot of shit for that. I would like to get one myself, but I don't even have the money for that. But I think tiny homes are there's those can be quite useful. In helping with homeless problems. All right, I'm going to skip some of the mushroom talk. I think we talked. You guys can talk about it, but I'm not going to. Maybe keep reading those. Now, Jolie says, I'm obsessed with tiny homes. I watch tiny home videos all the time. I thought of getting rid of all the crap I own. So enticing. Yeah, I went through a phase where I was looking at all the tiny homes, and some of them are pretty cool. Marsha Jones, I've never tried any drugs. Should I try? It's up to you. It's up to you. Bethany says, see ya. Chat bingo time. Good luck, Bethany. Good luck. Get a bingo. Get that bingo. Get the bingo jackpot. Cause we're gonna get high, high, high. In the noonday sun. Gonna get high, high, high. Aaron West, my A1C is 5. Is that good? I don't even know what's good or bad. Mad Mac, we used to call guides a trip sit back in the 60s. At Darkly Yours. Bye, Bethany. Again, I hope you get some bingos. I hope you're calling out bingo a lot, or at least once. I've gone to bingo a couple times over the years, and I never won. Like when you're playing for money at those big bingo halls. I've never won shit. But they're fun, You get your little dabber, Get that dabber. That didn't look right. Damon Dog says that's great, Aaron West, about the A1C. Damon says mine was 8.9. Then I went on keto and lost 70, pounds, and it was 5.5. It's slowly creeping back up with carbs. I'm at 6.2 last check. We're gonna get high, high, high. John in Las Vegas, SEMA loads. Ooh, I know that didn't come out right. SEMA rides is what I meant. Jorgen Johansson says, Mad Mac, it'd been okay. Don't celebrate so much. Just drinking some beers and smoking some pipes with a friend. I'm getting old. Hey, that sounds like a nice time. Drink a few beers. Hit the pipe. Hit that pipe. Hey, it's your birthday. Just say it's your birthday. You're gonna have a good time. Marsha Jones says, thanks, John and mods. Take care. Peace and love. Peace and love. Back at you, Marsha Jones. Thanks for coming in. I appreciate you. I do appreciate you. I do. I really do appreciate you. You. I appreciate you. Damon Dog says, when I go to play bingo, it's another B word I say more than anything. Mostly just after someone yells bingo. Son of a bitch. Yeah. I know you're right there. You got just one more number to go. And the motherfucker over there beat you to it. Jolie says, my cat is super chatty today. She was a feral stray hid under the bed for 2 years. Never a peep out of her. She finally started trusting us and came out, found her voice, and hasn't been quiet since. She's making up for lost time, I guess, apparently. She's turned into a chatty Cathy. John from Las Vegas says there's a company in Vegas called Buxaby? That manufactures tiny homes. They cost $60,000. And there's another one that I used to watch. That I think it's called Tiny Homes, something, I don't know. And they manufacture. They have a little manufacturing plant, I guess you'd call it, just south of Boulder City, on Highway 95 or whatever it is. Just a few miles south of Boulder City. They're set up out there. I think they're just called Tiny Homes Incorporated or something. I used to watch their videos all the time. I haven't watched them in a while, though. Nick Rich, 20 past the hour. Hey, I'm only 2 minutes behind you. Nick Rich, 2 minutes behind. I'm only 2 minutes behind you. Nick Rich, 2 minutes behind. Thank you very much. I don't know why I do the goofy shit that I do. I don't. I have no idea. No idea. I got no idea why I do what I do. Roxanne, any word on Hal and his dad? I haven't seen anything. Nothing from Hal, nothing from Andrea. I could just imagine that, the time is getting nearer and nearer and closer, and they're just, that's all they're thinking about, So that's, Brooklyn says, how back? As far as I know, not, I don't know, Brooklyn, if you don't know, his dad is in hospice, and he's been with his dad for this whole week now, and I haven't heard any updates. So. Mad Max has reminded me of Kelly's Heroes, where Donald Sutherland is sitting on top of his tank and gets asked what he is doing by the captain. I guess the captain asked him. Eating some cheese, drinking some wine, catching some rays, laughing out loud. Yeah, I remember that. That was a great movie. I love those old Clint Eastwood movies, man. Kelly's Heroes, Outlaw Josie Wells, I think, is probably my favorite Clint Eastwood. But Donald Sutherland was a crack up in that. Roxanne, loving TJ singing. Yeah, I can see it's bringing you to tears. Darkly Yours says, oh, I've seen those where they just plop down a little box where you tell them, and it's your house all inside. Yeah, it's usually just like on a trailer, and you can just put it on a little piece of land. Nick Rich, refill, need a cookie. I was thirsty. I was thirsty, so I drank. I was hungry, so I ate. I was cold, so I covered up. I don't know. I don't know I don't know where I was going with that. I have no idea where I was going with that. There's this thing that just popped up on the TV. I can't stand that guy. Let's see. Nicole Sandler's on. I might be ending the show here pretty quick. You guys can go raid Nicole Sandler if you want. Yeah, Dark Lizard says whatever that was, it sounded biblical. It did sound biblical. Yeah, there was definitely something biblical there. I think I was paraphrasing Jesus in a way, maybe even channeling Jesus. I don't know. I'll say it. I said Jesus. Roxanne says, "Did you all see the WWE wrestling video with Newsom and various Dims faces on the wrestlers? It was funny. I think Gavin put it out. I started watching it, and I think I just clicked away because I thought, oh, this is stupid. But I mean, I understand it. No, that's not against you, Roxanne. No, I'm sure it was funny. I guess I wasn't in the mood to watch it. I guess you know what I mean. But I'm sure it was good and funny, and it was a good put down of the Republicans. But I did see it, but I kind of just passed it by real quick. For some reason I wasn't in the mood. I don't know. You know me, I'm moody. I'm a moody little bitch. Dark Lear's Trucker Jesus. Oh yeah. I feel it. I feel Jesus. I can feel Jesus. Anamore says, in one of Hal's shows, he said that he will try to do the show around his dad's sleeping schedule. He said that 2 days ago. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think he should even try to do this show right now. He needs to just, and he's not, I don't, to my knowledge, he hasn't done a show in a while. And he, yeah, just let him do his thing with it. Let him be with his dad as much as he can. Because once his dad goes, he'll never be with his dad ever again. And you know, no matter how much you prepare for it and you know it's coming, it's still sad. And, you know, so I'm just, you know, I don't, as far as him doing a show or not doing a show, right now, time with his dad and with his family is number one. That's the number one thing. So we're just going to have to give him the time that he needs. And Hal will be back when Hal is ready to come back. You know, so we'll just let him be and deal with the issue that's going on now. David Dog says RFU News has a new video, Russians in the Dark. I really like their Ukraine coverage. Roxanne says it was funny up against Dinky Shithouse Raid. Yeah, I'm sure it was funny. I'm sure it was good. But for some reason, I just I didn't stick with it, you know. Mrs. Spock, death is a once in a lifetime event. I hate to visit. Well, you know, yeah. We'll hear something. Something will probably the next thing we're going to hear is that Hal's dad died, and you know, so I'm not gonna just let Hal do it. You know, be able to spend this time with his dad as much as he can. Anyhow, guys, I'm gonna go ahead and probably get going and try to somehow motivate my lazy ass to go to work today. Motivate my lazy fucking ass to get down to the bus stop, take the bus. Probably what I'm going to do, because I do have some free. Remember Vay, the Vay car, the one where it's a little electric car and you can rent it. they keep sending me these coupons. So I think what I'm going to do today, I'm going to take the bus about a few miles to get into the coverage area, and I'm going to take a VAY. I have a coupon where it's free, and then I can drive almost all the way to work, and for free basically because I have the coupon. And even if it wasn't free, it's only it'd be like $6. And I can get almost all the way to work, and then I'll have to walk probably about 15 or 20 minutes. But then that's good because I could always use the exercise. So I don't mind doing that, especially now that the temperature's cooler. When it was hot in July and August, and even into September, and it was still 100, 110, 115, there's no way. But now that the temperatures are a lot cooler, even though we still are, like today, it's going to be 80 degrees. We're still a good 5 or 6 degrees above normal. So this is not good. We've been above average temperatures all year long. And even though now it's cooler out, it's still above average by 5, 6 degrees every day. That's not good, man. Anamore says, go to work. Yeah, I know. I need to go to work. So yeah, I think what I'm going to do is I'll get on the bus, and I think I'll take the VAY. And then that way, that cuts off like a good hour or even more probably, of all the travel time and everything. So that's kind of cool. It's just kind of a hassle. Get on the bus, get off the bus, get the VAY, wait for the VAY to come. Then I drive to work. It takes like 10 minutes to get to work from there. And then I got to walk, but it'll be a 20-minute walk. But like I said, I need the exercise. So, Yeah, you're goddamn right you need the exercise, you fat ass. Get off the couch. Get your fat ass out the door and go make me some money, Trucker John. The hell? I don't need you laying around here. I need you to go out and make me some money, bitch. I think someone might have heard that. Someone's walking by out the door. Yeah, sorry, Trucker John. Yeah, get your fat ass off the fucking couch and go make me some money. What do you think this is? Freeloader haven? No freeloaders here. Trucker John needs to get out. Yeah, time for some tough cookie love. That didn't sound right, but yeah. Trucker John, get off the couch. Sick of you. I'm sick of seeing you laying around all day. Trucker John, I'm also without a vehicle. If I had a car, I would drive you. I would drive you every single day, man. I would make sure you were to work on time. I'd even come pick you up, man. But I don't have a car either, so we're all carless here. And Tough Cookie has never driven in his life. How am I gonna drive? I'm a cookie. Yeah, well, I know. I'm just saying. But yeah, if I had a car, I would take you to work. But so yeah, just go over there, man. Just do it because we're getting short of funds and we need you to get to work. All right, man. And thanks everybody else for listening. By the way, I just want to say thank you guys so much for being here today. If you haven't subscribed, please do subscribe. Hit that subscribe button. If you haven't hit the thumbs up, please hit the thumbs up button. That'd be great if you could do that. And we'll see you on the next one. All right. Thank you, Paul, the purple beard guy. He's good at Tough Cookie. He's an asshole. But I guess we all knew that. Robert Perez says it's Freeloader Friday. Yeah, we all knew that Tough Cookie was an asshole to begin with. But Brooklyn, I'll drive you insane. All right, guys. So tomorrow, David Dog says see you tomorrow night at Diane Russell Live. If you guys want, though, Nicole Sandler's on right now, and so if you guys want to go check her out, and if you do that, just I don't know, say hi from Trucker John. And I don't know who else is coming on today. Whoever's coming on, go watch them, check them out, have a good time. I'll see you guys tomorrow, though. I'll just do it for 11. I don't know if Hal's going to be on tomorrow. Like I said, he's got his family issues that he's going through, so it might be. He might not be on YouTube. On the show he does on WCPT, that might just be like a best of or something. I have no idea. I shouldn't. I don't know. But I'll just do a regular 11 a.m. my showtime tomorrow, as if it would be an after show hangout type of a deal. So I'll see you guys again tomorrow, 11 a.m. right here on the old Trucker John channel on YouTube. David Dog says Johnny Million maybe. Yeah, I don't know if Johnny Million's on. I don't know, but you guys have fun. We'll see you around in the chats. I'm gonna go and get ready for work, get dressed for work, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Guys, hang in there. I know it's pretty tough. It's tough, man. Trump is killing our democracy. We know that. Things are tough all over, all around. But together, we can make it through. If we all hang together, so we don't all hang separately, we can get through this. Let's hang tough. Let's remember last Tuesday's elections and not forget, the hope we've gotten from that election. Don't let that hope fade away. Those elections were big. They were huge and won by huge margins that hardly anyone really thought it would be that big. There is something happening here. The people are pissed off, and it's not just Democrats. It's Republicans too, Republican voters that are pissed off, and some of them are crossing over. Some of them are coming over. Some of them are going to No Kings and protesting with us. And I think that's what it's going to take. It's going to take the people coming together, right and left, Democrat, Republican, independents, coming together and standing up against this wannabe king, this dictator, and standing up against the oligarchs. Our people power will outmatch their money power if enough of us stand together. If enough of us stand together, they can spend all the fucking money in the world and it won't matter. If enough of us come together. All right, with that, I'll leave you. Of course, there are the bonus words of wisdom. Get a piece of paper and a pencil to write this down for the words of wisdom portion of the show. Okay, you guys ready? Here we go. All right, so guys.
Well, it's time to say goodbye. The show has come to an end. But don't be sad, no, don't you cry. We're all gonna come back and meet again. Have some fun times, hopefully nothing too bad. We might talk about war crimes. Might talk about Baghdad. I doubt we'll talk about door chimes. But if we did, I'd be only too glad. So hasta la vista, baby. The show is over, but could I ask you maybe to take a shower? No, that's not what I meant, but I couldn't think of anything to rhyme with over. Now my whole rhyming scheme is all screwed up. Oh shit, I should have stuck to truck driving, who I try to kid. So I hope to see y'all again right here on the Trucker John Livestream. We're gonna do it again and again, right here in the Trucker John Livestream. Yeah, the Trucker John Livestream. We're gonna come back and do it all again. No, this ain't no dream. This is where we win, right here on the Trucker John Livestream. No, this time to say goodbye. The show is coming in. But don't be sad, no, don't you cry. We're all gonna come back and meet again. Rolling down the highway in my rusty old rig. I'm a retired trucker, but my spirit's still big. Living in Vegas, where the lights never sleep. Broadcasting my thoughts for the world to keep. From politics to pop culture, I've got it all. Sharing my views, no matter how big or small. Talking about food and movies and bugs, shining a light on all the social issues. No shows, I've driven through the desert, seen the city so bright. But now I'm living in a different kind of fight. From my apartment in Las Vegas, I hold the key, exploring the world through my live stream for free. Apartment in Las Vegas, I hold the key, exploring the world through my live stream for free. So you want to take a trip down Paradise Road, but it ain't that pretty, it ain't paved with gold. Everybody's got the dirty little secrets, everybody's got some things unknown. But if you ain't real careful, baby, it'll cut you down to the bone. Under all those bright lights, you've gotta learn to ignore the glitter. It's all about fight or flight, and you don't wanna do either. So go on down to Paradise Road, it'll make you wish that you were young. But all it'll do is make you feel old and regret trading in your love for lust. It's all just a big charade, it's all just one big game, and it ain't about love. It's all about the thrills, it's about staying in the hunt, it's about going in for the kill. So head on down to Paradise Road, that's where your friends are now. They're the people that nobody knows. So go ahead and make your big show. So live it up on Paradise Road, just don't let anyone know. It'll be your dirty little secret, it'll be your guilty little pleasure. Living a secret that the whole world sees, hiding in plain sight among the scum and the thieves. So damn hard to ever be pleased. Everyone wants to live the good life, everyone Everybody wants a piece of paradise. But where would you run? Where would you hide? What would you do to buy a little more time? Grandiose dreams of happily ever after are really just another day's end. And when the sun goes down, you just lay there wondering, can you really do it all again? You're praying for one last shot. You're hoping for one last big win. Paradise Road is calling, so you better hurry along. Paradise Road is calling, so you better hurry along.
Show's over. I'm out of here, folks. Bye. See you later.
Yes! Yes! Woo! The Dodgers won! The Dodgers won! Yes! Yes! Woo-hoo-hoo! Dodgers won the World Series! Woo! Yeah! Yeah! Yeah, Clayton, yeah! Woo-hoo-hoo! Oh my God! Oh my God, that was the most amazing World Series ever. Dodgers!